comprehensive plan. We're looking in the range between $5,000 and $10,000. In return, they would ask that we take a little heavier look at some of the park, like facilities and park components of a comprehensive plan. Typically, you would look at parks as just one element. They're just like a little bit more robust on it, which really isn't much of an issue. It's just, that's great if they contribute financially to it. So he is working to find that back or find out from them. Since we're still working on the scope with MetroCog, that gives us a little bit of time to get that issue resolved. So that's just a quick heads up. I brought up concerns of audit from them and reminded them that public agencies, cities, and park boards do have audit timelines. So brought that as a concern. The city would like to see some results made on audit or progress made on that. So he's going to relay that back to the park board, but just giving a heads up about that. And if they do come to the table with contribution, I'll keep council apprised.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's what we have.
Okay. So next up here, we got portfolio reports. John's not here. Dave's not here. Chelsea, go ahead.
Well, we kind of touched on Bean Days already, so there's not really a whole lot else to say unless you guys have any questions about
What's
it.
outstanding? Anything? I mean, we got anything else? Loose ends you got to get buttoned up, or got enough time?
You're still talking to security.
Yep.
And somebody from the sheriff's department called about a softball tournament. So park board scheduled that in at about 4 o'clock. They want to play the fire department. And so I did mention the security thing, and so they were going to reach out. He was going to have somebody else reach out to you too. But that would be, I guess, the only thing outstanding. Really, we're just trying to coordinate the layout of everything, and I've been busting my butt to get it all.
No, I know. You
Locked
have
up.
it. So I'm just trying to see if there's anything else that we need to
Yeah,
help shore up with. Or...
and I had sent an email about sponsors. I don't know where that's going to go. So that's really the one thing that's up in the air. But yeah,
I think we should thank Interstate Engineering for a nice contribution.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we can do that. Thanks, Jim.
Something I would like to expand, Chelsea brought up. There's been a lot of followings and hits in regards to our Facebook posts tied to Bean Days. The logo seems to be received pretty well. And also, if you have not looked yet, she worked with her sister and set up a website for Bean Days, and it has a lot of good information to be able to show you where things are, and really pushing hard to give this a very professional look to it.
My sister Lindsay did this. She does graphic design work, so that I think was really nice and something that I'm hoping to have solid by the 18th. That's what I put into the sponsor letters, so then we can have a few weeks to put this out for people and get people interested.
Well, Chelsea, I have secured that rider for the insurance, so we're good there.
Okay, great.
That's
Okay.
So yeah.
Anything else, sir? Good.
I do have one thing. Before we leave, you're going to see a little bit of a change here between myself and Matea. Dave, Brett, and I have decided that Chelsea and I will rotate, and so you'll probably not see.
Okay.
You mean Matea, and you will rotate.
Is that what I said?
You
No,
said Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Yes, Matea
I mean,
and
you can be up here. We'll just chide you a little bit more.
I can't write that.
Well, Chelsea, you can be the auditor.
I can't write as fast as you.
So anyway, we're going to be rotating. I will be absent for the next 2 meetings. I will cover for her those 2 meetings, and then we will be on a rotation basis.
Okay.
I assume that I will be probably be here more than her typically, but we'll see how it works out.
Perfect. Oh, you guys work it out. You got your rotation. That's cool.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Brian, you got anything?
I got one topic. Well, 2 short ones. Just a thank you for everyone that came out to the Streets Live event. It actually turned out a little bit better than I had hoped. Sounded like the activities and so forth at the park were well received. We purchased about 50 kites for kids, and they disappeared in actually 2 hours. So there's some lessons learned out of the event. We'll probably shorten it next year, but do a little bit different format. But I think overall it was well received, and appreciate all the sponsors that helped out with that. So I wanted to give a shout out for those sponsors.
Thanks, Brian, for doing it. That was
Hey.
a lot of work, man.
Hey,
I know
it's
that.
not that bad considering we got a lot of help from everyone. So, it's like I think we start getting more events like this, we'll get more community participation.
Yeah. Oh,
People
yeah.
willing to
You gotta
step up
start
and help
somewhere.
out. So, and start planning things a little earlier,
Hey.
than a couple weeks ahead.
Hey.
So that's a different topic.
No worries.
Anyway, the second topic that I wanted to bring up, the North Dakota Moves. Just a quick update there. I'm going to be meeting with the DOT or Alta Planning, I think tomorrow. I'm scheduled to meet with them. We've gotten some feedback from Streets Alive, plus a little bit of feedback afterwards. It hasn't really changed overall. I don't know that we've done any traffic counts or anything like that, other than what we collected there during the event and so forth. So I'm going to be passing that information along. Have we heard anything from the fire department or from the elevator about expected harvest times? Because I was anticipating that we might be hearing some feedback that it might interfere with some of the harvest, because I know harvest is going to start kicking off here within the next week. So,
But I don't think they're going to bring much wheat to town.
It'll be done in the next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wheat harvest will be wrapping up this week, so I don't know.
We started last week.
well, that's why I'm asking if we received any complaints from the elevator or anybody.
No, we have not received any complaints or.
The only complaints we'll get is when they run over the cones.
Yeah.
Well, I know. So that's
They won't say anything. They
that's
just
the
run over.
reason I was going to suggest that we were planning on tearing down sometime, the weekend of the 18th, 19th. Unless there's objections, I would assert that we plan on tearing it down a week early.
Yeah.
Either end of this week, and take the.
As long as they're okay with it, we can say it, because of harvest, we're gonna take them off
Right.
the demo area and
Right,
Lottie.
I mean, I think we've gathered the feedback, I can, tell the North Dakota DOT and so forth, that we've gathered, we've, collected. I'm gonna summarize everything and send it to them, but other than that, unless there's some objection, I think we can just plan on saying, let's go through the tear down by the end of this week, and unless there's some reason.
I think that'd be received well by Big Irvs, for example, because they have their Johnny Home concert next week. So, or no, it might be this week.
Well, it's the
Yeah,
11th,
it's
right?
coming up
It's
this
this
week. So,
So,
if we
I
had
think
tore
this-
down right before their concert, I think
I'm
it'd be
thinking,
received
I'm thinking
pretty
if we
well.
tear it down either Thursday or
Yeah.
Friday this
Yeah.
week, I think that'd be good, so,
Yeah.
unless there's some reason we should keep it up, so.
Call them and just double check, but otherwise, I think that's a
Well,
plan.
I'll twist Kelly's arm and say, "Are you sure you don't want this to stay up?"
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure.
yeah, you'll see what he
I'm
says
sure
about
he'll tell you
that.
Yeah.
But I will pass that information along to Alta Planning and North Dakota Moves, that we're just gonna tear down a bit early because of
Yeah.
the harvest and so forth, so.
Okay,
That's it.
all right. I got a couple of notes here real quick. The assessor came to my house today. So they're in town. The other thing we should probably get something out on Facebook though, and the city website. They brought in 5 more people besides the gal, and they're gonna try and comb the town here as best they can over the next week and change to be done. So they're gonna hit this place pretty hard. Yeah, I mean, they brought in resources.
Wow.
So, just FYI, we should get that out on the website so people know and be reasonably nice to them. I've heard some comments already that they've been chased out of different lawns and stuff like that. So people need to chill out a little bit, because the thing is, if they're not allowed in, they're going to estimate. You may not enjoy the estimate. So I would suggest that everybody just kind of chill out and let them do their assessing and get on with that. So anyway, so we'll hopefully have that done in 10 days or so, 10 days to 2 weeks. So anyway, very friendly, very nice. It took all of about 15 minutes and la-di-da, so. Okay.
They're gonna knock it out in 2 weeks.
Yeah, so Vanguard's in town. Everybody's got their badges, so they'll know who's who. Diversion meeting is on Wednesday at 1 o'clock, Brent. We should probably have somebody on site for that one. It's a special meeting. I guess Hoven's in town I think it's just more of a fluff and puff thing, but let's have somebody on site for that one.
Okay. You said Wednesday at 1?
Yep.
Okay.
I'll find out where, I just don't know off the top of my head. Bernie's the one who told me about it. I didn't get that information from anybody else. Anyway, so I had a very nice sit down with Bernie last week, the new mayor at West Fargo. We had a lot to talk about. We'll have more to talk about, but that he's going to be a welcomed individual to get some information from, and they're ready to work with us on many different levels, so that was a good thing. Hopefully at the next meeting I'll have some more information on diversion and some other things. So I'm done. Anybody else got anything? Otherwise, I'm going to take a motion to adjourn. Brian, the day into the motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
If these other people can get us some gold, we have 176.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Concrete.
Smart guys. So we're trying.
Concrete roof.
Sorry, we sign this, please.
Brent?
I can look at it.
Last week Thursday.
I didn't
So they
get
kind
one
of
of
went through and they showed us how the
after.
system works. It's an online thing. How you can do permits. Contractors can actually do subdivisions. Get that started. So like we'll bring in the city planner to actually do these staff reports. We have a lot of stuff before they even walk. It's to try and keep as many people from coming in here. That way we can glean it, we can screen it, get back to them, and they don't have to do all that. The other thing is too, like violations. Like when they deal with Gary. A lot of this stuff can all be done online, so we can track it.
You're gonna do the date?
Because right now, we are doing.
These are for everybody.
Like the trying to find consensus around this. More permits, more stuff to deal with from contractors, more violations.
I didn't see your pickup there today when I went up there.
All the jiggers.
Sorry to interrupt.
And I don't
Dan
want
still has
staff
signs
to
too.
having to spend all their time doing that.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna get my stamp.
Anonymous.
Jim, I'll get my stamp so you can just
Oh, he has a stamp.
I'm just trying to figure out how we can keep from having to add more staff, because it's more expensive than $6,000 software.
We'll talk to him.
I will try to get numbers to you tomorrow morning.
What the hell did I do now?
No.
For what?
You know,
Oh.
we have,
Yeah.
numbers.
We went to go Jack. That showed enough that he.
There was a gal that did apply, Julie Hochhalter. Have you heard of her?
I saw the,
Okay. She was in here. She was really into the trees and the beautification and all that kind of stuff. And so this, I would think, is almost a logical extension of what she wants to do to help
I understand.
with that,
We walked.
with the building process and where things look. It's aesthetics.
He agreed to do. Okay, we just spent 25 minutes beating this up.
Well, I think he was under the impression that this money would have to just, like, couldn't be used for anything for 8 years and, or whatever.
Yep. I can ask her about that. But I mean, I looked at her resume too, and it's probably not.
Well, I don't think he wants to sub, I think he just doesn't
How
want
do
to
you
sit on
do
the
that? I mean,
tab.
we've sent out all kinds of requests. I mean,
I'm trying to.
he hasn't sent anything yet.